Liberty half dollar is one of those coins that quietly sits in collections and old drawers, yet holds a story far deeper than most people realize. At first glance, it may seem like just another piece of American currency, but beneath its surface lies a fascinating blend of history, craftsmanship, and potential value that continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. For some, it is simply a coin, but for others, it represents a hidden opportunity waiting to be discovered. In 1984, the half dollar being produced was part of the Kennedy half dollar series, a coin originally introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy. By 1984, these coins were no longer made of silver for general circulation, which often leads to confusion among collectors who assume all older half dollars contain precious metal. In reality, most 1984 half dollars are composed of copper-nickel clad, making them common in everyday terms, but not necessarily worthless. What makes a 1984 Liberty-style half dollar truly valuable is not just its age or design, but its condition and rarity. Coins that have been preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, those that have never been used in daily transactions, can command significantly higher prices than worn examples. A coin with a flawless surface, sharp details, and brilliant luster can stand out dramatically in the eyes of collectors. Even more important than condition are mint errors. These are rare mistakes that occur during the coin production process, and they can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Off-center strikes, double dies, missing details, or unusual metal compositions can all increase the value of a 1984 half dollar to levels far beyond its face value. These rare variations are what collectors hunt for with excitement and patience. The mint mark on the coin also plays a role in determining its worth. In 1984, half dollars were primarily minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark. While millions of coins were produced, certain batches or higher grade examples from specific mints can be more desirable. Collectors often compare subtle differences between mint locations, searching for coins that stand out from the rest. There is a powerful emotional element tied to coins like the 1984 half dollar. For many people, discovering one in an old collection or inheritance feels like uncovering a piece of hidden history. That sense of mystery, of not knowing whether the coin in your hand might be rare or valuable, creates a thrill that few other hobbies can match. It's this excitement that fuels the world of coin collecting. However, it is important to remain realistic. While stories often circulate about coins being worth millions overnight, the truth is that only extremely rare and unique specimens reach such extraordinary prices. A standard 1984 half dollar, even in excellent condition, is unlikely to make someone an instant billionaire. But that does not mean it cannot be valuable or meaningful. In fact, some high-grade 1984 half dollars, especially those graded by professional services, can sell for impressive amounts compared to their original value. Coins graded MS-65 or higher, mint state, can attract serious attention in auctions, particularly if they exhibit exceptional eye appeal. These are the coins that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. Another factor that can elevate the value is proof coins. In 1984, special proof versions were struck specifically for collectors, featuring mirror-like finishes and sharper details. These proof coins were not meant for circulation, and when preserved properly, they can be significantly more valuable than standard circulation coins. Their beauty alone makes them highly desirable. The idea of a coin changing your fortune overnight is captivating, and while rare, it is not entirely impossible. History has shown that certain coins once considered ordinary later became highly valuable due to rarity, demand, or newly discovered errors. This possibility keeps collectors constantly searching, always hoping to find that one extraordinary piece. If you believe you have a 1984 half dollar with potential value, the first step is to examine it carefully. Look for unusual features, sharp details, and any signs of minting errors. Even small differences can make a big impact. Using a magnifying glass or coin loop can help reveal hidden details that are not visible to the naked eye. Getting the coin professionally graded is another crucial step. Professional grading not only confirms the coin's authenticity, but also assigns it a condition rating that collectors trust. This can significantly increase the coin's market value and make it easier to sell if you choose to do so. A graded coin carries credibility and confidence. It is also wise not to rush into selling your coin. Many people make the mistake of accepting the first offer they receive, only to later discover that their coin was worth much more. Taking time to understand the coin's true value, consulting experts, and exploring different selling options can help you maximize your return. The market for collectible coins is constantly evolving. What may seem modestly valuable today could become more sought after in the future as demand grows and fewer high-quality examples remain available. Patience is often rewarded in the world of numismatics, where rarity and condition become more important over time. Beyond monetary value, the 1984 half dollar carries cultural and historical significance. It reflects a period in American history and continues a legacy that began decades earlier. Owning such a coin connects you to that history, making it more than just a financial asset. It becomes a piece of a larger story. For beginners, the journey into coin collecting often starts with coins like this. A single discovery can spark a lifelong interest, leading to deeper exploration and knowledge. The 1984 half dollar may be common in some ways, but it serves as a gateway into a fascinating and rewarding hobby. In the end, the true power of a coin like the 1984 Liberty half dollar lies not just in its potential price, but in the curiosity it inspires. Whether it turns out to be a modest collectible or a rare gem, the experience of discovering, researching, and understanding it is valuable in its own right. So if you have one of these coins, don't ignore it or spend it casually. Take a closer look, explore its details, and consider its possibilities. While it may not instantly turn you into a billionaire, it could still hold a surprising value, and perhaps even ignite a passion that lasts a lifetime. The story of the 1976 Liberty half dollar is not just about a coin, it is about a moment in history captured in metal, a symbol of celebration, pride, and hidden value waiting to be discovered. When you hold this coin, you are not just holding currency. You are holding a piece of America's 200th birthday, a legacy struck by the legendary United States Mint that continues to fascinate collectors around the world. The 1976 half dollar was created to honor the bicentennial of the United States, marking 200 years of independence. Unlike ordinary coins, this one carries a special design that instantly sets it apart. On the reverse side, instead of the usual eagle, you'll find Independence Hall, an iconic symbol that makes this coin feel powerful, historic, and deeply meaningful. At first glance, many people assume these coins are common and spend them without a second thought. But hidden among millions of ordinary pieces are rare variations and special compositions that can be worth far more than their face value. That's where the real excitement begins, the possibility that a simple coin in your hand could carry unexpected worth. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1976 half dollar is that it was produced in different versions. Some were made for general circulation, while others were specially struck in higher quality finishes for collectors. These collector versions, often called proof or silver-clad coins, are where serious value begins to emerge. The silver-clad versions are particularly important. Unlike regular coins made mostly of copper and nickel, these contain a percentage of real silver, giving them both intrinsic metal value and collectible appeal. Over time, as silver prices rise and collector demand increases, these coins can become significantly more valuable. However, the idea that every 1976 half dollar is worth millions overnight is a myth. The truth is more grounded, but still exciting. Only coins in exceptional condition, with rare minting errors or unique characteristics, can reach very high values. It's not impossible to find something valuable, but it requires knowledge, patience, and a careful eye. Condition plays a huge role in determining value. A coin that looks brand new, with no scratches or wear, can be worth many times more than one that has been heavily used. Collectors often use grading systems to evaluate coins, and even a small difference in grade can mean a big difference in price. Mint marks are another crucial detail. Some 1976 half dollars were struck in different mint locations, and subtle differences can make one version more desirable than another. These tiny letters on the coin can quietly hold the key to its true worth. Error coins are where things get really interesting. Occasionally, mistakes happen during the minting process, double strikes, off-center designs, or unusual markings. These errors are rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them because they are unique pieces of history. The emotional appeal of the bicentennial design also adds to the coin's value. It's not just about money, it's about owning something that represents a major milestone in a nation's journey. That emotional connection can drive demand among collectors, increasing the coin's desirability. For many people, the thrill lies in the hunt. Searching through old collections, inherited coins, or even loose change can feel like a treasure hunt. Every coin examined carries the possibility of discovery, And that excitement is what keeps collectors engaged. It's also important to understand that coin values can change over time. Market demand, silver prices, and collector interest all influence how much a coin is worth at any given moment. What may seem ordinary today could become more valuable in the future. If you believe you have a special 1976 half dollar, it's wise to have it evaluated by a professional. Experts can identify rare features that an untrained eye might miss, helping you understand the true potential of your coin. Storing your coin properly is another key factor. Keeping it in a protective case, away from moisture and damage, preserves its condition and ensures it retains its value over time. A well-preserved coin always stands out in the market. While the dream of becoming instantly wealthy from a single coin is exciting, the real value often lies in knowledge and careful collecting. Understanding what makes a coin rare or desirable is far more powerful than relying on myths or exaggerated claims. That said, the 1976 Liberty half dollar still holds a special kind of magic. It represents history, craftsmanship, and the possibility, however small, of hidden value waiting to be uncovered. That combination makes it one of the most talked about coins among enthusiasts. In the end, this coin is not just about fortune. It's about curiosity, discovery, and appreciation for history. Whether it's worth a few dollars or something much more, the real treasure is the journey of understanding what you hold, and realizing that even the smallest objects can carry extraordinary stories. The 1997 Liberty half dollar is not just a coin, it is a silent storyteller, a shining witness of history that carries the weight of a nation's identity in the palm of your hand. When you first look at it, you may only see metal, but to a true collector or dreamer, it feels like holding a hidden treasure that whispers secrets of unimaginable value. This is the kind of coin that sparks curiosity, ignites passion, and makes you wonder, what if this simple piece could change everything? Now imagine discovering that your 1997 half dollar isn't ordinary at all. Somewhere in the world, coins that look exactly like yours have stunned collectors with their rarity and breathtaking prices. It's not about the year alone, it's about condition, minting quirks, and those tiny imperfections that transform an everyday coin into a legendary prize. That's where the magic begins. The term mint mark is where the journey deepens. A small letter, often overlooked, can be the difference between a coin worth a few rupees and one valued in thousands, or even more. Coins from certain mints, especially when struck with rare errors or in pristine condition, carry an aura of exclusivity. It's like finding a diamond hidden in plain sight. Picture a 1997 Liberty half dollar with a flawless surface, sharp details, and a mirror-like shine. Collectors call this uncirculated, or even proof-like, condition. Such coins are not just currency, they are art. And in the world of collectors, art has no fixed price. It rises with demand, fueled by desire and scarcity. But the real excitement comes from errors. A coin struck slightly off-center, a doubled image, or even a missing detail can send its value soaring. These mistakes are not flaws, they are miracles in the collecting world. A 1997 half dollar with a rare minting error can transform overnight into a collector's dream. You might wonder, could such a coin really make someone rich? The truth is, while not every 1997 coin is worth millions, the rarest examples have shocked the market before. Coins with unique characteristics have been sold for astonishing amounts, turning ordinary owners into unexpected winners. There's something deeply thrilling about the idea that a small coin in your pocket could hold such power. It changes the way you look at money. Suddenly, every coin becomes a possibility, every detail a clue. It's like a treasure hunt that never ends. The design of the Liberty half dollar itself adds to its charm. The elegant figure of Liberty, standing tall and proud, symbolizes freedom and strength. This artistic beauty makes the coin desirable even beyond its monetary value. It's not just a collectible, it's a piece of heritage. Collectors around the world spend years searching for coins like these. They attend auctions, study details under magnifying glasses, and compete fiercely for the rarest pieces. When a unique 1997 half dollar appears, it can create a wave of excitement that spreads across the collecting community. Condition grading is another powerful factor. Coins are graded on a scale, and even a slight difference in grade can mean a huge jump in value. A coin graded near perfect can be worth many times more than one with minor wear. That's why careful preservation is so important. If you believe you have a valuable coin, the first step is patience. Never rush to sell. The biggest mistake people make is letting go of rare coins for a small price, not realizing their true worth. Knowledge is your greatest weapon in this journey. There are stories, real stories, of people discovering rare coins in old collections, inherited boxes, or even loose change. These stories fuel the dream, reminding us that treasure doesn't always come from faraway lands. Sometimes, it's already in your possession. The 1997 Liberty half dollar may not be famous to everyone, but in the right condition, with the right characteristics, it can become something extraordinary. Its value is not just in silver or metal, it's in rarity, demand, and the story it carries. Think of it as a sleeping giant. Most coins remain ordinary, but a few awaken into something legendary. And when they do, they can command prices that seem unbelievable. That's the unpredictable beauty of coin collecting. If you truly own such a coin, treat it with care. Avoid touching its surface too much, keep it protected, and consider having it evaluated by experts. A single decision can determine whether it remains ordinary or becomes exceptional. The dream of becoming rich overnight is powerful, and while it may not happen for everyone, coins like the 1997 Liberty half dollar keep that dream alive. They remind us that value is often hidden, waiting to be discovered by those who look closely. In the end, this coin is more than metal. It's a symbol of possibility. Whether it turns out to be worth a small amount or a life-changing sum, the journey of discovering its value is an adventure in itself. And who knows? The next time you hold that coin, you might just be holding your future. The 1983 Liberty half dollar carries a quiet presence, the kind that doesn't shout for attention but instead waits for the right collector to recognize its hidden story. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin from circulation, but beneath its surface lies a connection to history, craftsmanship, and the evolving journey of American currency. This is not just metal, it is a preserved moment in time. When people hear the phrase, unimaginable worth, their minds immediately jump to millions, fortunes, and overnight wealth. While most 1983 half dollars are not inherently rare enough to command such extreme prices, certain exceptional examples, those with pristine condition, rare mint errors, or unique characteristics, can indeed become highly valuable in the collector's market. Value in coins is not just about age, it is about rarity, condition, and demand. The year 1983 is particularly interesting because coins from this period were not widely saved in uncirculated condition. This means that finding a perfectly preserved 1983 half dollar today is far more difficult than one might expect. Many were used heavily in circulation, making high-grade versions significantly more desirable to serious collectors. Imagine holding a coin that has survived decades without scratches, wear, or damage. Such a piece becomes more than currency. It transforms into a collectible treasure. In the world of numismatics, condition is everything. A flawless coin can be worth many times more than the same coin in average condition, sometimes turning a simple piece into something truly remarkable. Then there are mint errors, those fascinating mistakes that occur during the coin production process. A double die, an off-center strike, or unusual metal composition can instantly elevate a coin's desirability. These errors are rare, unpredictable, and highly sought after. If your 1983 half dollar carries such a feature, its value could rise far beyond ordinary expectations. Collectors are driven by passion, and that passion fuels the market. When demand meets rarity, prices can climb dramatically. While it may not realistically make someone a billionaire overnight, the right coin in the right condition can certainly bring surprising and exciting returns. Stories of rare coins selling for astonishing amounts are what keep collectors searching and hoping. The design of the Liberty half dollar itself adds to its charm. The imagery, the texture, and the weight all contribute to its appeal. It is not just about money, it is about art, history, and legacy combined into a small, tangible object. Every detail tells a story, from the engravings to the edges. Owning such a coin can feel like holding a secret. Many people overlook coins like the 1983 half dollar, spending them without a second thought. But those who take the time to inspect, research, and understand their coins often discover hidden gems among ordinary-looking pieces. The idea of, don't sell it at a low price, comes from this very possibility. Without proper knowledge, someone might unknowingly part with a valuable coin for far less than its true worth. That's why awareness is powerful. A simple check, condition, mint mark, and possible errors can make all the difference. Grading is another crucial factor. Professional grading services evaluate coins and assign them a score based on their condition. A high-grade 1983 half dollar, especially one graded near perfect, can attract serious collectors willing to pay a premium. This transforms the coin from everyday currency into a certified collectible. Time also plays a role in value. As years pass, coins become harder to find in excellent condition. What may seem common today could become scarce tomorrow. This slow shift is what makes coin collecting both exciting and unpredictable. There's also an emotional aspect to collecting. For some, it's about nostalgia. For others, it's about investment. And for many, it's the thrill of the hunt, the possibility that a simple coin in their pocket could turn out to be something extraordinary. The phrase, "change your fortune overnight," may sound dramatic, but it captures the excitement of discovery. While reality requires patience and knowledge, there are moments when collectors stumble upon rare finds that significantly boost their financial position. These moments are rare, but they do happen. Understanding your coin is the first step. Look closely at its details. Check the year, the mint mark, and its overall condition. Compare it with known variations and errors. The more you learn, the more you increase your chances of recognizing something valuable. Preservation is equally important. A coin's condition can deteriorate if not handled properly. Keeping it safe, clean, and protected ensures that its potential value remains intact. Even a small scratch can reduce its worth significantly. The 1983 Liberty half dollar may not always be a millionaire maker, but under the right circumstances, it can become far more valuable than its face value suggests. Its true power lies in knowledge, knowing what to look for, how to evaluate it, and when to hold on to it. In the end, this coin represents possibility. It reminds us that value is not always obvious at first glance. Sometimes, the most ordinary-looking things carry the most fascinating stories, and occasionally, the most rewarding surprises. The story of the 1982 Liberty half dollar begins not with sudden riches, but with quiet history, an era when coins were no longer made of silver for everyday circulation, yet still carried the echoes of a nation's past. When people hear 1982 half dollar, they often imagine hidden treasure, something rare enough to turn an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. But the real story is more subtle, more fascinating, and in many ways, more meaningful than a simple dream of instant wealth. By 1982, the classic Liberty, design most people think of, like the walking Liberty, was no longer being minted for circulation. Instead, the half dollar in that year carried the familiar profile of John F. Kennedy. Still, collectors sometimes loosely refer to older-style imagery or symbolic Liberty themes when talking about American coins, which creates confusion and fuels myths about extraordinary value. What truly makes a 1982 half dollar interesting is not that it is automatically worth millions, but that certain rare variations, minting quirks, and pristine conditions can elevate its value far beyond face value. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, D mint mark, were produced in large numbers, meaning most examples are quite common. However, within that sea of ordinary coins, a few stand out like hidden stars. Coins that were never released into circulation, known as mint sets, can be found in much better condition. These uncirculated coins, especially those preserved perfectly for decades, can attract serious collectors willing to pay significantly higher prices. Then there are errors, the true thrill of coin collecting. A 1982 half dollar with a striking error, such as an off-center strike, double die, or unusual surface flaw created during minting, can become dramatically more valuable. These are the coins that ignite excitement, because no two are exactly alike, and rarity drives demand. Condition is everything in the world of coins. A heavily worn 1982 half dollar might only be worth its face value, but a coin graded at the highest levels, what experts call mint state, can command much higher prices. The difference between a circulated coin and a flawless one can mean the difference between a few rupees and hundreds of dollars. Another layer of intrigue comes from collector psychology. People are drawn to the idea that something ordinary in their pocket could be extraordinary in value. This emotional pull often leads to exaggerated claims, stories of coins worth millions or capable of changing lives overnight. The truth, however, is more grounded. While some rare coins in history have sold for millions, a standard 1982 half dollar is not among them. Even the best preserved examples usually reach into modest collector ranges rather than life-changing fortunes. Yet, this doesn't make the coin unimportant. In fact, its value lies in its accessibility. It is a gateway into the world of numismatics, a starting point for those who want to understand how rarity, history, and condition combine to create value. The design itself carries a sense of dignity. The profile on the coin reflects leadership, memory, and national identity. Even without silver content, it still represents a moment in American history frozen in metal. For some collectors, the real worth of a coin is not measured in money, but in the thrill of the hunt. Finding a high-grade 1982 half-dollar in circulation or in an old collection can feel like uncovering a small treasure, even if it doesn't bring millions. There is also the possibility, however slim, that a truly unique error or exceptionally rare specimen could surprise the market. Coins have been known to defy expectations when the right buyer meets the right rarity. Still, it's important to stay realistic. The idea that a common 1982 half-dollar could instantly make someone a billionaire is more fantasy than fact. Believing such claims can lead people to overvalue ordinary coins or fall into scams. A wise collector learns to balance excitement with knowledge. Understanding mint marks, grading, and authenticity is far more powerful than chasing viral stories of overnight wealth. If you do own a 1982 half-dollar, the best approach is to examine it carefully. Look for unusual features, check its condition, and, if it seems promising, consider having it evaluated by a professional. In the end, the magic of the 1982 half-dollar is not in guaranteed riches, but in possibility. It invites curiosity, rewards patience, and connects you to a larger story of history and craftsmanship. So while it may not transform you into a billionaire overnight, it can still enrich you, in knowledge, in appreciation, and in the quiet thrill of holding a small piece of the past in your hands. 1p Sacagawea $1 coin has quietly become one of those fascinating pieces that turns ordinary pocket change into something that feels almost legendary. At first glance it looks like a simple golden dollar, but collectors know that certain examples from this year and mint mark carry an appeal far beyond their face value. The Philadelphia mint mark, represented by the small p, signals a coin struck during a period when production details, die conditions, and finishing variations created pieces that now attract serious attention from collectors hunting for standout specimens. What makes the 2001p Sacagawea Dollar so intriguing is the possibility of exceptional condition coins that survived with razor-sharp details and brilliant surfaces. These coins were struck for circulation, meaning most were handled, scratched, or dulled over time. However, a tiny fraction escaped everyday use and retained a pristine look. When such coins appear with strong luster and flawless surfaces, their desirability increases dramatically, and collectors begin to treat them as premium pieces rather than common currency. The design itself adds to the fascination. Sacagawea is shown carrying her infant son, a symbol of guidance and resilience. On high-grade 2001p coins, the hair strands, facial contours, and folds in clothing appear crisp and almost sculpted. The reverse featuring the soaring eagle becomes especially striking when the feathers show complete detail. Coins that preserve these sharp features often command the most attention, especially when paired with bright golden color and minimal marks. Another factor that fuels excitement around the 2001p issue is the presence of die varieties and subtle striking differences. Some collectors search for coins with unusually strong strikes, satin-like finishes, or reflective surfaces that stand out from standard circulation examples. These variations are not always obvious at first, but once spotted, they transform an ordinary coin into something collectors actively compete to acquire. Condition grading plays a powerful role in determining value. A heavily worn 2001p Sacagawea dollar remains worth only face value, but a coin graded at the highest levels becomes a completely different story. Coins preserved in near-perfect condition, especially those graded at the top of the scale, can attract intense bidding. The difference between a slightly worn coin and a pristine one can be the difference between pocket change and a collector prize. Collectors also watch for coins with exceptional luster. The 2001p Sacagawea dollar was struck with a manganese brass-clad composition that gives it a distinctive golden tone. When that surface remains untouched, the coin reflects light in a vibrant, almost glowing way. This shimmering effect makes certain specimens stand out immediately, and those coins often become the ones that draw the highest interest in auctions and private sales. Some 2001p coins also show unusually clean fields with very few contact marks. Since dollar coins were stored in bags and transported in bulk, many received small hits and scratches early in their life. A coin that escaped this handling damage becomes rare in top condition. These nearly flawless examples can be surprisingly difficult to find, which is why collectors value them so highly. The story becomes even more compelling when collectors search rolls and old bank stock. Occasionally, unopened rolls from earlier years surface, and inside them may be coins that have remained untouched for decades. When a fresh 2001 Sacagawea Dollar emerges from such a roll with blazing luster, it can immediately become a candidate for premium grading and potential high collector value. Another detail that adds excitement is strike sharpness. Some coins show soft details, while others display crisp edges on lettering and strong definition in the eagle's wings. Coins with the strongest strikes are always preferred. When sharp strike quality combines with pristine surfaces, collectors begin to view the coin as something special. The 2001 Sacagawea Dollar also appeals to collectors who build date and mint sets. Completing a set with a top-quality 2001 coin can be challenging, and demand from these collectors keeps attention on the issue. When multiple collectors compete for the best available example, the perceived value naturally rises. Occasionally, coins from this year show subtle toning or color variation. While the typical appearance is bright gold, some coins develop soft champagne shades or deeper golden hues. When the toning is even and attractive, collectors often see it as a unique fingerprint that makes the coin more desirable. Packaging history also plays a role. Some coins were preserved in original mint packaging or saved by collectors shortly after release. These coins often retain better surfaces and stronger eye appeal. When such pieces appear decades later, they sometimes surprise the market with their quality. The excitement surrounding the 2001 Sacagawea Dollar is also fueled by the idea that valuable coins can still be found in everyday places. People search old drawers, coin jars, and bankrolls hoping to discover a high-grade example. This treasure hunt feeling keeps interest alive and makes the coin feel more mysterious and rewarding. Another reason collectors watch this coin closely is the limited survival of top-grade pieces. Even though millions were minted, only a small portion remain in elite condition. This imbalance between large original mintage and small number of premium survivors creates the perception of rarity at the highest levels. The market for collectible coins often rewards eye appeal as much as technical perfection. A 2001 Sacagawea Dollar with glowing luster, clean surfaces, and sharp strike can attract admiration immediately. When such a coin is presented, it tends to stand out even among other high-grade examples. All of these factors combine to give the 2001 Sacagawea Dollar a reputation as a coin worth checking carefully before spending. While most are common, the rare standout examples hold collector interest that can elevate them far above face value. The idea that a single coin could hide extraordinary appeal is what keeps collectors constantly searching. In the end, the 2001 Sacagawea $1 coin represents the thrill of discovery in coin collecting. A simple golden dollar may seem ordinary, yet under the right conditions it becomes a prized collectible. That possibility transforms everyday change into something exciting, and it's why this coin continues to capture attention and spark curiosity among collectors who know that sometimes the most surprising treasures are hiding in plain sight. The 2000 Sacagawea Dollar entered circulation surrounded by excitement, mystery, and a sense that something unusual had arrived. Struck at the Denver facility of the United States Mint, this golden-colored coin immediately caught attention because it looked different from traditional silver-toned dollars. Its warm glow, detailed portrait of Sacagawea, and soaring eagle on the reverse created a design that felt both historic and modern. From the very beginning, collectors began whispering that certain 2000 examples might become incredibly valuable, especially those with rare minting quirks, pristine surfaces, or unusual metallic appearance. What fuels the fascination is the belief that some 2000 coins appear almost silver in tone rather than golden. This unexpected appearance sparks speculation that a few pieces may have been struck on experimental planchets or with incorrect metal layers. When collectors encounter one with a pale sheen, sharp strike, and flawless finish, they begin to imagine they are holding something extraordinary. The idea that a simple dollar coin could secretly be a rare mint error turns an ordinary pocket find into a potential treasure. The Denver minted version is especially intriguing because production volumes were enormous, yet only a tiny fraction display the kind of characteristics that excite serious collectors. Coins with mirror-like surfaces, unusually sharp details in the eagle's feathers, and smooth fields without marks become the center of attention. When these features combine with an unusual color or texture, speculation grows quickly. Some enthusiasts believe these could represent transitional strikes or test pieces that slipped into circulation unnoticed. Condition plays a massive role in value, and a 2000D Sacagawea dollar in flawless mint state becomes dramatically more desirable. A coin untouched by circulation, with blazing luster and no visible wear, already commands interest. But when that same coin also shows a distinctive tone or minting anomaly, the excitement multiplies. Collectors often search bankrolls hoping to find one that looks different, brighter, or sharper than the rest. Another factor that fuels high-value stories is the legend of special strike Sacagawea dollars. These coins are rumored to have been struck with extra care, polished dies, or experimental surfaces. When a 2000D example appears with unusually smooth fields and frosted design elements, it resembles a presentation piece rather than a circulation coin. This unusual appearance encourages the belief that a rare subset exists, hidden among millions of ordinary coins. The possibility of dramatic value also comes from mint errors. Off-center strikes, double images, clipped planchets, or wrong metal strikes can transform a standard coin into something unique. If a 2000D Sacagawea dollar were struck on the wrong blank or missing its golden outer layer, it could look entirely different from normal coins. These rare errors are the kinds of pieces that collectors dream about discovering in change. Stories circulate about collectors finding coins that appear silver instead of gold, heavier or lighter than expected, or with surfaces that shine like polished glass. These discoveries create the sense that hidden rarities still exist. Each unusual 2000D coin sparks debate, examination, and excitement. Some are eventually confirmed as genuine mint anomalies, while others turn out to be toned or altered pieces, but the search never stops. The design itself adds to the appeal. The obverse shows Sacagawea carrying her child, a symbol of courage and exploration. The reverse features a powerful eagle surrounded by stars, representing unity and aspiration. When this design appears in extraordinary condition or with unusual metal characteristics, it becomes more than currency. It feels like a historical artifact. That emotional connection often drives collectors to pay far more than face value. Collectors also chase coins graded at the very highest levels. A 2000D Sacagawea dollar graded at the top of the scale becomes extremely scarce because few survive without marks. When one appears with flawless surfaces and radiant luster, competition grows intense. If that coin also shows a unique color or strike, it becomes even more desirable, pushing perceived value higher. Another reason these coins capture imagination is the possibility that experimental alloys were tested early in production. Some believe that a handful of coins may have been struck using slightly different metal compositions. These subtle variations can change color, reflectivity, and texture. When collectors believe they have found such a coin, they treat it as a potential rarity. The idea of overnight fortune comes from the unpredictable nature of numismatic discoveries. A coin overlooked for years can suddenly gain attention when a new variety is identified. If a 2000D Sacagawea dollar with unusual traits becomes recognized as a distinct variety, demand can surge rapidly. That possibility keeps collectors searching and fuels dramatic claims about value. Authentication becomes crucial when dealing with coins rumored to be extremely valuable. Experts examine weight, diameter, edge details, and microscopic surface features. A genuine unusual strike will show consistent characteristics that match minting processes. Without verification, it is easy for toned or altered coins to be mistaken for rarities. Market excitement also plays a role. When collectors believe a particular coin is rare, interest grows quickly. Online discussions, collector forums, and coin shows amplify the buzz. A single confirmed unusual 2000D coin can spark widespread attention, leading many to search their collections for similar pieces. The dream scenario involves finding a coin with perfect surfaces, unusual color, sharp strike, and confirmed mint anomaly. Such a piece would stand apart from typical circulation coins. Its uniqueness would attract collectors willing to compete for ownership, and that competition could push values dramatically higher. Despite the excitement, most 2000D Sacagawea dollars remain common circulation coins worth close to face value. The extraordinary value only applies to coins with verified rare traits. This distinction is important because the majority of coins will not possess those unusual features. Careful examination is always necessary before assuming rarity. Still, the possibility of a hidden treasure keeps collectors fascinated. A coin pulled from a drawer or found in change might display something different. That moment of discovery, the shine, the unusual tone, the flawless surface, creates the thrill that drives the hobby. The 2000 Sacagawea Dollar continues to inspire that excitement. In the end, the legend of the most valuable 2000 Sacagawea Dollar lives in the intersection of rarity, condition, and mystery. A coin with the right combination of features could attract enormous attention and potentially command an astonishing price. The story of a 1962 Liberty Sacagawea Dollar sounds like the kind of discovery that could shake the entire coin collecting world, but there is a crucial twist that makes it so fascinating. Such a coin was never officially produced. The famous golden dollar honoring Sacagawea did not appear until the year 2000, struck by the United States Mint decades after 1962. That gap in time is exactly why collectors become electrified by the mere mention of a 1962 version, because if one ever surfaced, it would represent either an experimental strike, a fantasy piece, or an extremely rare error that slipped outside normal production. Imagine holding a coin that appears golden, bears the familiar Sacagawea portrait, yet carries a 1962 date and the small D mint mark from Denver. The shock value alone would send specialists scrambling for microscopes and grading equipment. Collectors chase the impossible, and a coin that predates the entire Sacagawea series by nearly 4 decades would instantly become the centerpiece of auctions, debates, and headlines across the numismatic world. In theory, the only way such a coin could exist would be through a pattern strike or fantasy over strike. Pattern coins are experimental pieces created before a series officially launches, often never released to the public. If a 1962 Sacagawea pattern were discovered, it would suggest that designers explored the concept decades earlier, a revelation that would rewrite known mint history and ignite fierce bidding among elite collectors. Another possibility often discussed in collector circles is a dramatic mule error, where mismatched dies accidentally strike a coin. If a Sacagawea obverse were paired with an older reverse dated 1962, the result would be a hybrid anomaly. These kinds of errors are already rare, but a cross-era mule involving designs decades apart would be almost unheard of, instantly elevating its mystique and value. The phrase, unimaginable worth, begins to make sense when rarity reaches this level. Coins that exist as unique pieces, sometimes only one known, have sold for staggering amounts. When rarity combines with a famous design, historical contradiction, and collector hype, prices can escalate into the hundreds of thousands or even millions, depending on authenticity and demand. Condition would magnify the drama even further. A pristine, uncirculated 1962 Sacagawea would look like it had traveled through time untouched. Sharp details in the hair, flawless fields, and a radiant golden glow would convince collectors they were staring at something that defies ordinary mint chronology. Authentication would become the first battlefield. Experts would examine metal composition, die markers, weight, and microscopic flow lines. The alloy used for Sacagawea dollars differs from coins struck in 1962, so confirming a correct composition alongside a 1962 date would deepen the mystery and potentially validate the coin as a one-of-a-kind anomaly. Auction houses thrive on stories like this. A coin that, should not exist, attracts not only collectors but investors. Wealthy buyers often compete aggressively for items that cannot be duplicated. The bidding room becomes tense, with numbers climbing faster than expected, fueled by the fear that this opportunity may never appear again. Media attention would amplify the excitement. Headlines describing a 1962 Sacagawea discovery would spread rapidly, drawing new collectors into the hobby. Public fascination alone can inflate value, because demand expands beyond traditional numismatists into investors seeking tangible rarities. Collectors also prize coins that challenge official timelines. A 1962 Sacagawea would create a narrative of hidden experiments or accidental minting. Even speculation increases desirability, because mystery adds emotional weight, and emotion drives record-breaking bids. If such a coin appeared in circulated condition, the intrigue would shift. Where patterns would suggest it traveled unnoticed for years, passing through hands without recognition. That idea, a priceless treasure hiding in everyday change, captures the imagination and pushes collectors to search more intensely. Grading services would likely assign a special designation noting the unusual date and mint mark combination. Labels like Unique Mule or Fantasy Over Strike can dramatically increase collector appeal. The slab itself becomes part of the story, preserving the coin as a documented anomaly. The Denver D mint mark adds another layer. Denver-struck rarities often carry strong collector demand, especially when paired with unexpected designs. A 1962 D Sacagawea would combine geographic identity with chronological impossibility, a powerful mix in numismatic psychology. Value estimates in such cases become speculative because no direct comparison exists. When something is truly unique, the price is whatever the highest bidder is willing to pay. That uncertainty is what fuels the dream of overnight fortune tied to legendary coins. However, the most important truth remains: no officially recognized 1962 D Sacagawea dollar has been confirmed. The idea lives more as a hypothetical treasure than a documented rarity. Yet that doesn't diminish the fascination. In fact, the uncertainty is what keeps collectors searching. So if someone ever claims to hold a 1962 D Liberty Sacagawea dollar, the reaction would be immediate disbelief followed by intense scrutiny. If proven genuine, it could indeed transform from curiosity to million-dollar centerpiece. Until then, it stands as one of those legendary what-if coins, the kind that keeps collectors checking dates, studying mint marks, and wondering whether an impossible piece of history might still be waiting to be discovered. The coin people often describe as a 1621 Liberty Sacagawea Wampanoag Treaty Dollar isn't actually a coin from the year 1621 at all, but it connects to that historic year through its design. The piece most collectors are referring to is the 2020 Native American $1 coin, Mayflower/Wampanoag Treaty Reverse, which honors the agreement made in 1621 between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag people. Because the date 1621 appears in the design, many assume it is an ancient silver coin, but in reality it's a modern golden-colored dollar struck decades after the original Sacagawea dollar began. This dramatic misunderstanding is exactly what fuels the excitement around the coin. When collectors first notice the handshake scene and the reference to 1621, they imagine a lost colonial-era treasure, something that could be centuries old and worth life-changing money. The truth is more grounded, yet still fascinating, because the coin represents a symbolic moment rather than an artifact from that year. Its reverse depicts diplomacy, survival, and cultural exchange, capturing a powerful historical narrative in a modern collectible. The so-called D Mint Mark version refers to coins struck at the Denver facility of the United States Mint. These Denver-minted examples typically carry a small D, and collectors sometimes believe that this mark alone transforms the coin into a rare millionaire maker. In reality, rarity depends heavily on condition, circulation history, and whether the coin has any striking errors. A normal circulated Denver piece usually carries modest collector value, but pristine or unusual specimens can command far higher prices. What truly makes this design stand out is the handshake imagery inspired by the 1621 treaty. It references the meeting between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag tribe, often associated with the arrival of the Mayflower and the fragile cooperation that followed. The coin's imagery shows two hands joined in peace, surrounded by inscriptions that commemorate unity. This symbolism gives the coin emotional value beyond metal, and collectors often pay premiums for historically meaningful themes. Many viral claims describe the coin as solid silver, but standard versions are actually manganese brass clad over copper, producing the golden appearance typical of Sacagawea-style dollars. That doesn't eliminate value, though, because collector demand isn't based solely on precious metal content. Historical themes, minting quirks, and exceptional preservation can drive prices far beyond face value. The idea of millions overnight usually comes from rare error coins. If a Wampanoag Treaty Dollar were struck with a dramatic minting mistake, such as a double strike, off-center design, or missing layer, it could become extremely desirable. Coins with striking anomalies sometimes sell for thousands, and in exceptional cases, rare errors in popular series can climb dramatically in price when collector demand surges. Condition plays an even bigger role. A coin graded in near-perfect mint state, with blazing luster and zero visible wear, can be far more valuable than a circulated example. Professional grading services encapsulate such coins, and collectors often compete fiercely for top-graded pieces. The difference between an ordinary circulated coin and a flawless specimen can be hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another factor that fuels rumors is the limited collector awareness. Many people ignore dollar coins in circulation, so unusual examples can slip through unnoticed. This creates the myth that rare treasures might be hiding in everyday change. While most are common, occasionally a sharply struck or error coin does appear, reinforcing the belief that fortune could be sitting in a pocket. The historical storytelling embedded in the design also adds collectible appeal. Coins that commemorate moments of cooperation or cultural significance often gain long-term interest. As more collectors focus on Native American series designs, demand for standout reverses like the Wampanoag Treaty Scene can grow steadily. It's also worth noting that some pieces come from special collector sets. Coins issued in mint rolls, satin finishes, or proof versions often carry stronger collector demand. These versions usually have sharper details, mirror-like fields, or frosted designs, making them visually striking and potentially more valuable. Market hype tends to exaggerate values dramatically. Claims of instant billionaire status usually come from misunderstandings or misleading listings. Realistically, most examples sell for modest premiums, but rare error or top-grade pieces can still reach impressive prices relative to face value. The excitement comes from possibility, not certainty. Collectors are especially drawn to coins that combine storytelling with scarcity. The Wampanoag Treaty design offers both narrative depth and the chance, however slim, of finding an exceptional specimen. That blend keeps interest alive and fuels speculation across collector communities. Another reason for the coin's popularity is its connection to the broader Native American dollar series. Each year features a new reverse honoring contributions of Native Americans to U.S. history. Among them, the 1621 treaty theme stands out for its instantly recognizable symbolism and historical resonance. The Denver Mint Mark version often attracts attention because collectors compare it with Philadelphia minted coins. Subtle differences in strike quality, luster, and availability can make one mint more desirable in certain conditions. This comparison further increases the mystique around the D examples. If someone believes they have a valuable specimen, the smartest step is careful inspection. Look for unusual doubling, off-center strikes, missing letters, or exceptional shine. Even small anomalies can transform an ordinary coin into something collectors seek. Ultimately, the coin's real magic lies in its blend of myth and reality. It isn't a silver artifact from 1621, but it does carry the memory of that year in its design. That misunderstanding creates excitement, while the genuine collectible aspects keep interest grounded. So while not every Wampanoag Treaty dollar will change a life overnight, the possibility of a rare example keeps collectors searching. In the world of coins, sometimes the most fascinating pieces are not the oldest, but the ones that spark imagination, history, and the thrill that a small golden dollar might hold a surprisingly big story.